One of the things I love so much about Portland is it feels like a big city made up of a bunch of little neighborhoods, and each little neighborhood has its own flair, its own vibe, a little bit of uniqueness to it. But also, as I walk around Portland, I'm like, why is this built like this? Who is this designed for? Was this built with a person in mind?
We are the Coalition of Communities of Color. We work with MAID for Health Justice, looking to impacted communities like low-income communities and communities of color, and using their lived experience to help shape a better policy solution that actually addresses people's problems or issues.
Historically, there's this sort of intentional wall that has been placed between everyday folks repeatedly experiencing environmental harms and dominant institutions, governments, universities, who's going to figure it out by creating a statistical equation that's going to solve the problem.
In the past, the city hasn't really collected a lot of qualitative data. Our data is really numbers focused. It doesn't tell you anything about people's lives, but community data is naturally going to do that, and it's going to challenge the types of information that government usually relies on.
Community data can communicate the way of just being in the world, the way that humans experience the world.
I work as a climate and health coordinator at the Coalition of Communities of Color. We're here in noise pollution. As you can tell, I'm in the sun because there's not enough trees.
It's 100 degrees here right now. There are neighborhoods that are totally shaded where it can be 20 degrees lower on a hot day than in an area that is a lot more paved over and doesn't have tree canopy.
If it's 102 degrees and you don't have AC, you feel that, you know that's a problem.
That is a big reason why we have such inequity in our society, because we're not actually using the strength of community data to make better decisions for our society.
We have been told that data is objective, and it's not. It's always biased because humans are biased. Data is a tool to help us understand ourselves and our communities and to solve problems in our lives.
If you're actually listening to the community, you're like, oh, okay, we need to address things regarding public safety, sidewalk coverage, like a variety of other factors.
Community members are concerned about their health. They know that streets like these have an impact on their health, and they want to learn more about different sources of pollution.
With that community knowledge, you end up with like a better policy solution that actually addresses people's problems.
This kind of work has to happen over time. That change doesn't just happen overnight, and it takes time. There is an opportunity here to do something different. We, as representatives from community-based orgs, are connected to our community members.
One of our biggest accomplishments is providing a space where community can gather, build relationships together, and really understand the power of their truths. I've seen that come alive when community comes together and we talk about what we're experiencing, what we're passionate about.
The Native American Youth and Family Center was founded about 50 years ago. We recently just held a community consult where we invited elders to provide input on what would help them with the way that we live.
In the past, we haven't tracked that down. We haven't documented and aggregated it and then packaged it in a way that we say, hey, look, this is what needs to change.
You can really relate our local data ecosystem to a community garden. No community garden only grows onions. You want strawberries too, you want pears, you want basil. Same with your data ecosystem. You want a diversity of data so that it makes a resilient and valuable data ecosystem.
Why would you only use one approach to understand something super complex?
We serve over 375 tribes in the Portland Metro alone. And so that diversity and that variety of culture and tradition varies so much. It's just like truly raw, pure joy, because it's not even just like about the data, it's also just about being in community and healing.
Get involved, come connect with us. There's so much work to be done. The local data ecosystem is just the start.
Here in Jade Districts, these different planters are also housed now in front of small local businesses that are drawing more people in.
This is a huge undertaking. We will need further funding to continue to develop and sustain this ecosystem through the years.
It will be easy for things to fall through the cracks if we don't have really dedicated support to sustain this kind of work.
Fund us. Help us build something that community can actually own and lead, and you'll see how quickly we get to better decisions.